Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to the Suit Up Geeks podcast. And guys, we are talking Loki this week. I know I was a little absent from last week, but I'm really cool to hang out, chill here, talk about episode 2, because I feel like episode 2 was, I don't want to say miles better to make the first one seem like it was bad, but this is definitely a good uptick in the right direction for me, I'd say. And just to get into this, man, I really love the dynamic that they've been building between Loki and Mobius. And I gotta say, why did it take so long to get Owen Wilson in the MCU? The dude fits right in, perfectly casted, and I really like their relationship in this show. And I'm impressed at how deep they've gone with why Mobius is already attaching himself super close to Loki, and it's told to us that he just takes in the weak people or the broken people. Damn, I was about to make a Community reference, but I feel like you guys yeah. But so he likes to bring in people that are looking for help in that way, the broken people. And that seems like the typical one that they always go with, but honestly, I really believed it, and I thought it was really well done so far. But before we get a little bit deeper into this, guys, Mr. Crockpot, Deeb's the man himself, what are some of your just general thoughts on this episode and the relationship between Loki and, my God.
Yeah, we have Ian saying, what's up, what's going on? Loki is better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision. Let's get into that later on. My goodness. So great episode. I was actually a little bit down on the series premiere. I think I gave it in that 6.8 to 7 range. It was a little slow. It was a little boring. It was just a lot of rehash, things we already knew. Tom Hiddleston was terrific. No one's denying that. Nice shirt, by the way, EJ. We're twinning tonight. I'd love it. I think it's easy to say this was the best episode so far. I'm surprised how fast it's taken off, compared to, WandaVision, compared to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought this episode really pushed things forward, and we're going to be talking about it tonight. You said it, Ryan, the relationship dynamic between Hiddleston and Owen Wilson, that's the bread and butter of this show by far. And I'm just counting down the days till Owen Wilson gets his chance to be in a MCU movie. And to be honest, dude, if he doesn't have a post-credit scene of him riding a jet ski at the end of this series, I'm going to be so disappointed. It would be a major mistake by the MCU. There's a lot to like about this episode. We had kind of the first true introduction of the multiverse in this episode. He's clearly going to be a lead off to Doctor Strange 2, the new Spider-Man movie. It's very clear that the TVA is shady. It's hiding its own intentions. We're going to get into that. I think we found some motives for Loki. He clearly wants to dethrone the timekeepers. I think there's also a low-key motivation, pun intended, building that Tom Hiddleston's Loki is ultimately going to want to prove himself to be the best Loki over our new Loki, if that's who she is. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Miles away, like you said, Ryan, better than the first.
And what about you, AJ? Just some general thoughts on the episode and the relationship between Mobius and Loki.
Yeah, this is another perfect episode for me. I still think episode 1 was perfect. That's the first episode to start us off with. And see, episode 2 of Loki, like you guys said, it raised the bar a lot more, which just made it perfect for me. We got a lot more development between Loki and Mobius, which was awesome. I love their banter. I love their chemistry together. And also the chemistry between Loki and I think it's B20 or B2 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's B20.
Yeah. So I love their chemistry. I love the back and forth they always do. So right now, I love the chemistry. The acting out of everybody is incredible. And it's only episode 2. We got 4 more episodes left. So it's kicking off. I'm loving it.
No,
I love
honestly,
the one scene between Mobius and this I thought this episode had a lot of humor. And my favorite line in this was when it was just simply Owen Wilson, Mobius, and Loki just talking back and forth. And Mobius made a comment, goes, dude, You literally stabbed 50 people in the back. Right.
It's like, bro, we expected at this point. Why are you still trying to lie? But I'm not gonna, since I'm not staying on the show this long, I do want to touch on something that I think blew my mind a little bit, and I think that is with the pacing of this episode. And like from the first episode to this, it feels like we had already jumped halfway through a season. We already found out who the imposter Loki is, I guess we'll call them. More of the TVA stuff, more of Loki and Mobius kind of doing their patrolling and detective work, which I was not expecting to jump right into. And seeing how this episode ended, this feels like a very anticlimactic ending for like a second to last episode for a season where all these different time bombs open up these all different little time lanes and different timelines. And I thought it was fucking nuts, by the way. That's why I was feeling like, holy crap, there's no way they're doing this already, and we still got another 4 episodes. And it's crazy to think that I kind of felt like these kind of footprints were happening, whether you believe it's Lady Loki or Enchantress. We knew this chick was coming, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't pull a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where you can kind of make the assumption at who it was, but they did the right thing in just kind of revealing who it was super early. Not the name, but it's not the Tom Hiddleston Loki. It's a very different person, whether it's Enchantress or not in the show. And I love it so much because in the first episode, I'm like, oh, don't give me like a Loki reveal and have it just be like either Lady Loki, Enchantress, or just another Tom Hiddleston Loki, and just keep them like kind of hush hush for the entire season, make it act like it's a big reveal, like sort of with the power broker from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I really appreciate. And that's why it kind of threw me off. But before we get a little bit more in depth with that, just some general sum ups, guys. Deebs, I'll hit you with it. What did you think about the entire ending and the pacing difference from the first episode to this episode?
It was great. I love visiting Pompeii. I love the humor with it as well. That was really fun. And I actually hope that's not like the last thing we see of like an apocalypse, Hurricane Katrina. What if we could go there, or something along those lines, like different things like that. That'd be really fun. I love that whole concept. But Lady Loki, man, she absolutely did not disappoint. Like you said, Ryan, the blonde hair makes that Enchantress connection definitely intriguing. For me personally, my question, we said it was going to be Lady Loki in our premiere review. I think the question is, what is her motive? So if the timekeepers, which that's another nugget they showed today, the timekeepers that I think they're fake. I think it's beyond clear that they're hinting that they're not real. We'll get to that in a little bit. But like, what is her motive? What is she doing? Why is she doing it? If the timekeepers, reorganize the multiverse in like a single timeline, does that mean there's no multiverse, or is there like a multiverse that has only one timeline? Like, could it be this female Loki, Lady Loki, is trying to restore her universe, or by causing all of these different branches, or perhaps maybe the female Loki, Lady Loki, is trying to reset her timeline enough to like bring someone back to life that is meaningful to her. What if it was like the mom? Like, what if it's Loki's mom? We saw that as a major segment in the first episode. What if she has a mom that she wants to bring back, and the timekeepers erased it truly to protect Kang, who is running the sacred timeline, the TVA? That's my vibe. So I see it both ways. Like, if it was Lady Loki, you didn't get the horns, but Lady Loki as Enchantress, like, I kind of like how they kind of did a play on both. So the costume is Enchantress. I still think it's a Lady Loki.
She did have the horns, by the way, and she had one of them broken.
She did?
Yeah, she had the horns.
She had the horns, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
she definitely had the horns, and I think the left one was broken, but it was kind of dark, so maybe I just got it wrong. But before we hop over to AJ, I do want to agree. I don't think the TVA is like what they say or who they say they truly are, and right. I don't think the Lady Loki, Enchantress, whoever it may be, thing is as deep as I think you might think it is, Deebs. Yes. Yeah, I know that's crazy for a story like this,
It's
but
Mephisto.
I don't because like it's already been clear that she's not trying to do or be like the Loki we know. She's not trying to control the TVA. She's not trying to control all these separate timelines. So if it's not control, it's obviously that she's making these time bombs at the end to distract the TVA from possibly her restoring her timeline for whatever reason. Like you said, it could be someone who's dead, a child, or hell, I'm trying to think of like what did Lady Loki or Enchantress say something at the end of the episode? Because I haven't had the chance to rewatch it.
Yeah, she said it's not about you, which could be a plug that says it's not actually Lady Loki. I still think my theory in the first episode review was that Lady Loki and Loki are going to team up with Mobius and take down the TVA. Was it not, AJ? So I still think that's a good bet moving forward.
No, yeah, honestly, couldn't agree more. But AJ, let's go to you, my man. What do you think about all this stuff?
I'm a little bit ways off from you guys. I'm a little confused a little bit for what you guys were trying to explain about the timeline and restoring another timeline. That's
What do you mean? She dropped the bombs at the end of the episode to create these different rifts and these different timelines to keep the TVA busy while she figured out how to bring back her specific timeline.
But why would she need to keep them busy if she had the
chaos, man? But she's pure chaos. That's what she's trying to do.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that she's pure chaos. She easily knew how to hide from the TVA, and that was explained within this episode. So they really don't. She doesn't really need.
It's a cool reason too. I want to say. Their explanation for how she hid under the grid was pretty cool.
It was smart.
It was definitely a smart
way
idea.
how they explained it, and that's the reason why I can't see why she needs a reason to distract the TVA if she can easily just hide from them and do what she wants to do, because she's been doing it the whole time. She's been hiding out, doing what she needs to do, hiding again. It just seems a little bit off to me. I don't really care for that theory. Also, the loved one type thing to bring back somebody. I don't really care for that either. Just do something new. I'm done. Go on.
What was it? Bad boys don't stay bad. Good boys don't stay good. Mm-hmm. That is a clear reference that Lady Loki is definitely not just purely evil. I think that quote means something.
Yeah. I'm not saying that she's purely evil, but bringing back a loved one, that's a little cliche.
I think that's just because it got a little soul in her heart, though. That's what I said. I think she's trying to.
I don't care for that. You can try to find a better way to.
What if we'll get this? What, dude? I don't know. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to. What if Lady Loki Enchantress is just a same kind of version as the Loki we've known? Obviously, completely different, has her own mind, but she lived sort of around the same life. She had the same parents. You don't think?
Okay. This is why I'm going to disprove you on that one.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
And in this one scene, we see the TVA show different variants of Loki. We saw the soccer Loki. We saw all the other Lokis.
Free Loki.
If you look closely, he has black hair in every single variant of himself. Lady Loki, or I don't even believe it's Lady Loki. I'm just going to say Amora. I do believe it's Amora because she has blonde hair and because of her power set. Loki doesn't use mind control at all.
No, but she doesn't. Wasn't the magic green though?
The magic is green. What does that do with anything?
Wait, hold up. Enchantress? Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else in my head. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. And Enchantress does mind control a lot more. Loki doesn't really care for mind control. To be fair, he did mind control, but it wasn't his power set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He used the staff to mind control people, or the one person. But his normal power set is not to control people's mind or whatever, or become an influence on other people or transfer. So
Yeah, I'm like he can do
transfer to
something
another
like
form,
something
like
similar,
it,
though, from what I know.
not in the MCU. No,
Yeah,
he
but they
never
haven't
used the
like
power.
have they
He
like
never used the
clearly
power.
distinguished what all of his powers were?
Yes, they did throughout the MCU. We
Yeah.
know all of his power sets, though.
Yeah, but I still feel like they could throw that one in there because
They could, but in his
yeah,
character,
that's what I'm saying. Like I get you. That's why I'm like 50-50 on that theory
in his
alone.
character, he doesn't like to go that route. He doesn't care. He likes to trick people the way he wants to trick them. He doesn't want to mind control them. Like, hey, do this for me and all that. He's not that type of person. Unlike Enchanters would do whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see the difference between
Oh
mind
no,
control and wanting pure and utter domination over
sorry.
someone.
Ian, I already touched on this. Avengers, Hawkeye, mind control. Yes, he did, but that was the staff. That wasn't Loki's power set.
yeah.
Also, you have Scarlet Witch that did mind control, and oh my god, was it Age of Ultron? Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
So Loki really never used his own power set to control people's mind. He used the staff.
No, yeah, definitely. But speaking about Loki, I don't know why I've been seeing a lot of I'm not saying criticism, more of just a lot of talk around the ending of the episode and watching Loki follow Lady Loki or Enchantress through the teleporting door thing. And I gotta tell you guys, I think he went just to hunt her down. I don't think it's for the intention that they want us to believe that he kind of just wanted to escape the TVA.
He did it for pride. He did it for pride. You cannot always tell from what Loki was doing within that specific scene. He wants to prove that he is the better Loki within
That's
that's the only reason why
he's gonna help the TVA.
Yeah,
that's why I really like this concept of episode 2. By the way, Ian says, I'm just saying some's got a review In the Heights. I watched that. Did anybody else watch it?
It's so good. I love that movie.
I'll let you guys review it.
Awesome flick. Yeah, I heard about that. Right. Anyway, what were we saying? Yeah, I love the concept of episode 2. How we have like Loki trying to one up Mobius. We have Loki trying to one up Lady Loki or Enchantress. We have Loki trying to one up the TVA. Like there's a lot of like seeds being planted, and like who's playing who, and Lady Loki. There's not a doubt in my mind that Loki is the pawn in evil Loki's grand scheme. That's definitely going to go down here, I think. There's definitely establishing Loki as a super clever and super smart character. I definitely think that's going to go down. So I was saying, I love how like one's trying to play another, and that's going to be a really fun, little plot and subplots throughout.
I love the unpredictability of Loki right now. Like we all thought we had Loki figured out, but the first scene within this episode, you get Loki tricking everybody in the TVA. You remember he says, "Wait, this is a trap. If you go out there, you all will die." And you just see that, and then throughout the episode, it was still a lot of deception from Loki. And then when you get to the end, and we get his motivate, and we get his reason of his motivations, but we're not sure if that's actually his motivation. Maybe he was just trying to get I'm just gonna say Amora. I'm not even gonna say Lady Loki anymore. I think that he was trying to get Amora, or trying to trick Amora to do whatever that he wants. But I don't really think Loki wants to take over the TVA, even though that's what he said he is. But I also think that he does want to take over the TVA because that's what most people. I just love the unpredictability of Loki right now.
No, yeah, Loki is, ironically enough, the most unpredictable that he's ever been.
I love it.
And yeah, I love it because we see it's kind of unique that we see this character specifically, because now if we look at the original Loki, I guess we can call that, went through Ragnarok, Infinity Wars, death and stuff like that, and Thor the Dark World.
Can we clarify one thing still?
Go ahead.
This is still original Loki. It's just past Loki. He's still.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean, like original.
Yeah, but
Loki.
I'm just saying in general because people are saying this is a copy of the.
No, it's not. It's just him
original
from
Loki.
2012.
He's still the original Loki. He's just
yeah,
from the
pulled
event.
from that. Just pulled from the timeline.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. It's not like replicated or something where
Yeah.
he's still living that life. But no, yeah. So let's just say Infinity War Loki then, since you don't like using original.
Okay, good. Good. Yes.
So we see how Infinity War Loki went through Thor Ragnarok, Thor the Dark World, and dying in Infinity War, kind of sacrificing himself. And we got that slow progression, but now all of a sudden we're back to like point A where he was at his worst type of hierarchy, trying to kill everyone, just wanting absolute power. And he goes through all those emotional steps within, I would say, an hour, 40 minutes, maybe. And now we've kind of skipped that section of his life, who isn't the same exact Loki because he didn't live through all those. He just sees it through the memory cards that he saw during the first episode. So he knows that they all die, but he never physically got to experience it. And I think that's going to be a cool dynamic that I think we're going to explore, that he knows what's bound to happen to him from his timeline, but he's never going to be able to experience that because they clarified in the first episode, once you become, what are they called again when they're ripped from their timeline? Variants, yeah. So once you become a variant, you're not going back. You either die or, yeah, you pretty much just die. But in Loki's case, he's probably not going to die. But what's going on, Loretto? How you doing, my man?
Hello. So it's 97 outside, but in the oven that is my recording space, it's a garage. So it's like 150. I was contemplating just going in full in my birthday suit, but it's all good. So yeah, I was actually behind. I didn't see the premiere when it premiered, but I literally just watched it not like 5 minutes ago. And you guys did your impressions. Did you guys give grades to it yet, or?
Oh yeah.
No.
We can do that.
So actually, Ryan, I think it's really important that you said that, because he even reacted when he saw that article where it said destruction of Asgard.
Yeah.
Like, he had a reaction because obviously, like you said, like he wasn't there. So just for him to read it, and he looked it over like, how many times. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And Leo brings up a good point as well. I mean, Tom Hiddleston's just fantastic, man. He's just showing the full range of everything from his it's funny because he's so humbled already from the first episode, but just seeing him like get handled by this lady Loki, as I know AJ's doesn't want to call her that, but I don't know the character that well, but he pretty much like was nothing to her. And I just love how put aback he is, but also how determined he is to prove her wrong, like you were saying, AJ. So honestly, I'm loving this series so far. Both episodes have been a delight. And I just like how, like you said, but all you guys have said the same thing. It's really unpredictable at this point. I have no idea what he's going to do next. And I think that truly creates something to hang on to, especially with the weekly format. So,
should we get into grades?
Yeah, let's get into grades before I have to go, because I'm curious to see what you all say, especially you, Deebs, because I know you were pretty indifferent, I guess you can say, with the first episode, giving it a 6.87. You said with the first episode, I think I'd give it around an 8. I really enjoyed it, but you know what? It was like just that kind of filler episode where they had to catch that Loki up, the new Loki, we'll say, I guess you can say, or Endgame Loki to be more specific, AJ. But this one definitely surprised me. I know a lot of people were talking about this being such a massively drastic different episode when you look at it compared to the premiere. And yeah, dude, I thought this had great pacing. The relationship between Mobius and Loki is fantastic. I really like the TVA and where they're probably going to go with that in the future. And I like the whole kind of thing of creating different variants and making all these different timelines and making those the technical thread, I guess you can say, by keeping the TVA busy trying to repair those timelines. And man, even for a second episode, that ending for the second episode was just fucking jaw drop in my end, because I'm pretty sure we all thought the same thing. She was just going to blow the shit out of that building, but no, she creates so many different other timelines at the end. And then Loki, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go still help the TVA, but I want to show her. That's the reason why I'm doing it, because I'm the best Loki. And you know what I got to say to that? I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10.
Ah!
And yeah, I know. But yeah, go ahead, Deebs.
Now that Loretto's here, I want to give this shout out because my man Loretto finished in the finals, the championship round of our summer movie blockbuster draft, and he had Shrek on his roster. This was the second time that the MCU used a song that was used in one of the Shrek movies. The first one was Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. So I Want to Be a Hero there in the beginning, that was really, really fun. So now that I can get that off my chest, I give it the same grade, Ryan. It was so funny. I give it the same grade. Thought-provoking writing in this episode. Amazing performances by Hiddleston and Wilson. If you don't want Owen Wilson, Mobius in like the greater scheme of the MCU moving forward, like I don't know what you're watching. I feel like this show is doing a great job of balancing that like dramatic weight of that Loki character, but also having the silliness, the fun element of Taika Waititi in Thor Ragnarok. Is doing a great job balancing those two elements. And this was the episode that sold me. I wasn't that big of a fan of the first episode, but there are elements, science fiction elements in this episode that were truly far and away better than the premiere, which I thought was a little boring and a little slow. So I give this a 9 out of 10.
Damn, what about you, Loretto?
Funny. Exact opposite reaction with Dives. I was floored by the premiere, and I was a little bit let down with this one. I like that they established the relationship a little bit more between Mobius and Loki, but similar to some other series we've been watching, it dragged its feet a little bit. I thought the Lady Loki reveal would be a little bit more exciting. I don't mind not knowing her endgame, but I'm still kind of left in the dark with the whole thing. But to your point, though, Dibes, the humor was great. I just loved at that moment in time where Mobius tells Loki, like, just shut up. And I think, like, that was, like, on the sentiments of everybody that's ever encountered Loki in the MCU is, like, do you ever just shut up, you know? And I thought that was brilliant. So, yeah, I'm going to drop it down from I gave it a 9.5 for the first episode. I'm going to drop it down to, like, an 8.5. It's still highly entertaining. I love the mystery. I love the buddy cop dynamic. And shades of Men in Black, like I had with the first episode, especially when he's putting on the jacket, he's got the tie, and then like Mobius, come on, let's go, we got to go. I just couldn't help get some Men in Black vibes, which is something that I'm latched onto no matter where we go from here on out. So enjoyable episode, just a little bit of a step down. I felt like nothing really happened. It was just more so a lot of exposition and a lot of I feel like we spent so much time figuring out where Lady Loki was. I felt like we could have been doing something else. I just feel like that took forever to get to. But yeah, 8.5. Overall, it's still fun, and I love where the season is so far.
Damn. What about you, AJ?
Yeah, easily a 10 out of 10 once again. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. Oh, it was boring. It's only been 2 episodes. What do you mean? Anyway, I love this episode just as much as I love the first episode of Loki. What the first episode did to me, I love how they rehashed a lot of things in the first episode and still help start to introduce new elements to Loki. And episode 2, I love how they introduced those elements and explained a little bit more to that mythology, a lot more within episode 2. And then we're getting even more stuff. We got answers. We're getting but we're also getting questions. So I just love how they're, like I said, introducing and giving us answers, introducing questions, episode by episode by episode. I hope they'll do that with the 3rd episode. But right now, episode 2, I have no issues with it. I thought the pacing was perfect, the acting was perfect. There's nothing I would change for this episode.
I love the time travel element of this show. Like you're like the whole time I'm watching the show, I'm like, wait a minute, what? But it's time travel, so who cares? It's fun.
Also, shout out to Tara Strong. I can listen to her like talk about anything. Mm-hmm. And I loved how he chased her around the desk. That was freaking brilliant.
I think the time travel element makes sense in this series, though. Unlike other time travel type of movies or shows, I think it makes sense. I'm understanding it how they're trying to explain it. So I
All right,
think
hold
you
up,
guys are
guys.
taking way too deeply into this.
I
But
gotta get going. So
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later. Have a great show and have a great reaction out of this. I'll see all you peeps later.
peace.
Hey,
Luke,
spicy take dives real quick.
yeah.
I wasn't crazy about that hero part.
No.
It didn't make sense to me. I was like, why is this song on? And then she
Well,
walked off, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that song needs to be used appropriately in the right context and in the right moment. And that was just way out of left field for me. I was just like, who is this dark figure? Why is this song on? I like
Okay.
this song, but why?
I want to argue this.
Go.
Look, we entered with the TVA. We entered 1984 in Wisconsin. It was showed in bold letters. First scene, Wisconsin, 1984. What year did that? Huh?
85.
Sorry, yeah, 1985. You're right. What year did that song come out? It was 1985, right?
I don't know. Somebody Google it.
Okay.
Bonnie Tyler, right?
Is that Bonnie Tyler?
Mm.
That's awesome.
It came. I'm pretty sure it came out in 1985. The sitcom, not sitcom, goodness, the intercom was telling us how things was going on for like the play stuff, because they're doing the medieval type thing for that one area. They were doing the Renaissance thing.
So they're probably doing like a show, and maybe
exactly. That was from the show they were trying to do, and the intercom they were like, which will actually have a quote here. Where is it? So okay, here it is. It says, "Will evil prevail, or are we holding out for a hero?" And then that's when the song comes out into play. It makes sense. It makes sense for the moment it was used for. It makes sense.
So the MCU is going for that gray area between what makes someone evil and what makes someone a hero, right? Or a villain versus a hero, because we saw Tom Hiddleston's character go like, good, evil boys aren't always evil. Good boys aren't always good. I feel like it's going that Falcon and the Winter Soldier route where, what makes a villain versus what makes a hero. Is that kind of the same thing, AJ?
No, I don't think it had that. I don't think it has that deep of a meaning. I thought the song was just.
I think it does.
I think the song was just to play for that one specific moment.
See, AJ, that's why you're such a valued member of our group, because you notice those kind of details. I mean, admittedly, I was distracted when I watched it, but I appreciate your attention to detail, man.
All right. Any other thoughts, Loretto, before we go into predictions for next week's episode?
That was my spicy take. I just didn't like the heroes thing.
All right, let's get into predictions. I'll lead us off. I am super, super convinced that the timekeepers are gone. They are long gone. I don't think they exist. I think, I do think it is Lady Loki. I do think her plan is, in general, to create chaos. That is her character's MO. I think that this would go really well. If it's just pure chaos, it would go well with that whole conversation we saw in episode 1 about free will versus determinism. That's what I'm talking about. I think by 100% sure that the TVA will not exist by the end of this series. I think that is the plan to clearly, take down the TVA. It's going to be run by Kang. That reveal is going to be amazing. I do still expect that Lady Loki and Loki will team up with Mobius and take down the TVA moving forward. Who wants to go next in predictions moving forward?
All right. I have two thoughts right now, and it's completely different directions. The first thought, Kang is connected to Amora. Remember in that scene, Amora says that she has another analyst other than Mobius.
It's Mephisto.
I believe that the other analyst is Kang, but here's the flip side. I think Kang is betraying the TVA. And that's where I think and oh goodness, Amora comes in. I do believe that Amora and Kang are working together to overthrow the TVA and overthrow the timekeepers. So I'm actually on the opposite end of Deebs here. I do believe that the timekeepers do exist. I don't think it's what is it? I don't think that they don't exist, but I do believe they do exist. Good Lord. And I think they are going to be destroyed by the end of this season.
Yeah,
I do believe that the what are those things called? The reset charge are going to play a big role because they were teleported. Now, if they were teleported in different pathways, that could be it. Or I do believe that they were teleported in one specific area, and that's where the timekeepers come in. I do believe that the timekeepers are going to get reset or disintegrated, as Loki described it, and that's what causes all the rifts between the sacred timeline and the splitting apart over and over and over again like that. So. Actually, now that I think about it, my other theory actually coincides with the theory that I just said. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I truly hope, I truly, utterly hope that this Lady Loki character is just does not give a damn about anything. Like, I would love for her just to be like the Joker, where she just is pure chaos, and that would be such a counterbalance. The opposite of Loki's character, who wants to dominate, who wants control, who wants to be in control of his life and control others. That is his entire MO since he was introduced in the MCU. I hope that Lady Loki's that I don't give a shit. I'm going to kill this person because I feel like it. That's what I'm hoping. What about you, Loretto? Any predictions?
I'm just as lost as I was the first week, but I love your thought, Dibes, because I started thinking of Rise of the Machines, Terminator 3, where their goal was to get to the base and it's going to save the whole world. But then when they get to the base, it's just there's nobody there. And it's cobwebs. And the goal wasn't to save the world. The goal was for them to survive. I think that's a good twist. And I actually thought I have a combination of your guys' thoughts. I feel like Kang is 100% somewhere lying in the shadows of this series. But to what extent, I'm not sure. But I have a question for you, AJ. What is their relationship in the comics? You said that they have a relation to each other. So Amora has worked with Kang previously in the comics?
No. Oh, yeah. So Amora has I think it's a love type relationship with Kang. Oh. But I can't remember which one's which, but I think one of them betrayed each other for their end goal. So that's what they could be playing around within the series.
So that's twist intriguing. The twist here, AJ, am I wrong that Kang was trying to take down the TVA, not work for the TVA in the comics, right? He was against the TVA.
I can't remember actually. I'm gonna have to reread some comments.
We have this comment from Luke saying, "You guys looking forward to Black Widow and Shang-Chi?"
Yes.
Any comments on that, AJ?
I already got my ticket for Black Widow, so yay for me. I'm so excited. For this. I can't wait to see Yelena. I can't wait to see Florence Pugh in action. Can't wait to see Scarlett Johansson back in action.
Florence Pugh is bae.
Yes. I love her so much. Can't wait to see the dynamic and sorry, I'm not talking about Hawkeye, but I can't wait to see the dynamic between the father. I can't remember the name, but their father and the two sisters, Yelena and Natasha. I can't wait to see. I've seen a lot of clips with them, between all three of them, and I'm loving it. So I can't wait to see that in action on the big screen. And Shang-Chi, everybody knows I am a martial arts addict. I love everything martial arts, and this has the highest potential to be the second best Marvel movie of all time.
I agree.
First and second best. So 100%.
I was excited for Black Widow when it was first being talked about and how it's going to be kind of this clone of the Winter Soldier. It's got the same vibes. It's got the same composer. It's got a lot of elements that, for me personally, The Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie ever. But it's kind of dwindled because we've just waited for it and waited for it and waited for it. And now it's finally coming. Then we get that Shang-Chi trailer, which I will argue is probably one of the best MCU trailers of all time. That's how great that was. That was crazy. Yes, Loretta.
Mm-hmm. I was
just doing his like.
I got my theories on Shang-Chi. We're gonna wait that out though. I got my theories.
Shang-Chi was
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. The action, action choreography, the visuals, just like Eternals, like it has all the elements. It's just going to take the MCU up a notch in terms of the action genre. So just like the Winter Soldier did, but just even more. Any thoughts on that, Loretto? Which one are you more excited, Black Widow or Shang-Chi?
Well, to answer Luke's question, I am 100% way more excited for Shang-Chi. Tony Leung is one of my favorite actors of all time, and he's going to show his greatness to the American audiences that don't know who he is or don't remember who he is because he's in so many great movies. But like my thing with Black Widow is very similar to you, Dobbs. I just don't understand its importance right now in terms of story. Yeah. I think it's not going to show us anything we haven't seen before, minus Taskmaster and just some explosive action sequences that have been sitting on the shelf for over almost 2 years now. Like, so I love Florence Pugh. That's baby girl. She's beautiful and a great actress. David Harbour is awesome. Rachel Weisz is awesome. I just don't know where what this holds for the rest of the story. I feel like everything else, like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even Loki to this point, it's just progressing us so much more forward, where Black Widow is set in the past. And I don't even know why it's important, and I'm not sure if it will be that important. So
can I just say one thing the importance of Black Widow? It is going to be set in the past because we all know Black Widow does die in Endgame. Spoiler alert! But I do believe that has a huge significance for the future of the MCU, namely because of Yelena. Yelena is going to be in never stop simping. Never.
Hey, she has my whole ass heart, y'all.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yes. That's me with Haley right now. But I do believe that Black Widow will have a huge significance, namely for Yelena, because she will be in Hawkeye, and that's going to be set in present time as well. And then I do believe Taskmaster will have another important role within the future of the MCU, other than this specific pocket for Black Widow. So I think what they're trying to do is to end Natasha's story while introducing more elements for the future of the MCU. That's why it should have been out, I would say, like a year ago. I wouldn't even say it should have been like phase 3 or phase 2 because it is still introducing new elements for phase 4, 5, 6. I do believe.
So to your point, AJ, it's a swan song for Natasha, but also introducing people that we just don't know yet, and they are important.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your bet that we see Contessa from Falcon and the Winter Soldier at that last like post-credit scene in Black Widow, like bringing her in? Any thoughts on that, AJ? I think that's like Taskmaster is definitely going to join the ranks of U.S. Agent, Baron Zemo. I think
Baron Zemo is like top 3 best villains of MCU. I'm hoping. Right now, it's looking like Taskmaster is just being used more as a pawn, from what I'm seeing in the trailers. But if he has a stronger role within the movie itself, then I'll be happy. But right now, all I'm looking forward to him is seeing his action scenes right now, at least.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We're already 44 minutes in. Loretta, where can we find you, bro? Any final thoughts on episode 2 of Loki?
You can find me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. And of course, I'm one of the 4 Suit Up Geeks here at the Suit Up Geek Fix podcast. We're always pumping out content. I just want to confirm, are we doing a pig reaction today?
Yes, right after that.
Yes.
Right
so stay tuned. We're going to do a live trailer reaction to Nicolas Cage's Pig. And I am so excited. I'm one of the few guys most of the time I'll defend Nick Cage in almost everything. So
Yeah.
I look
I'm not
forward
a
to
huge
it.
fan of Nick Cage. No.
Oh man.
Hey, you hate it, love him, but that's just how it is.
What about you, AJ? Where can we find you? Any final thoughts?
Well, you can find me here, Suit Up Geeks. You can find me at Geeks Vibe Nation, where we also do podcasts and we talk basically everything nerdy, just like Suit Up Geeks. And you can find me on Twitter right there at AJ_Geeks Vibes, where I basically talk pretty much everything: video games, anime, manga, comic books, superhero movies in general, everything. So that's where you can find me.
Oh, one more thing.
Go.
This Saturday, please tune in to Geekly Goods. We're doing a Fast and the Furious ranking.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
well,
me and Dives will be guests on that, and it's
Hold
gonna
on.
be freaking fantastic.
Where's Loretto?
I'm late to the series, but I'm so excited.
Where's Loretto? Loretto, get on here. I need to be on that. It's Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday at like noon, I think, East Coast time. But that's gonna be like that is my baby. That franchise is my baby, and I've been kind of like living my life through Loretto, who is gushing over Furious 7 and all those movies. So
Fast 7 is the best 7. Yes, it's the best.
I almost cried yesterday, y'all. That shit fucked me up.
Well, what other action movies make you legit cry? Like, it is so good. Oh,
I wasn't ready, and I knew it was coming.
All right, so make sure you go follow, subscribe to Geekly Goods on YouTube. Tons of amazing content. Leo does a phenomenal job. We'll be on there Saturday, noon, East Coast time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be a blast, just gushing over Fast and Furious. And my man Gabe is on there too, and I know we're going to be button heads big time because they're all my babies. They are all my babies. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geeks. Right after this video, actually, we're going to be doing a trailer reaction to Nicolas Cage's Pig, and I don't even know what it's about. I have no clue what this movie is, but I love Nick Cage, and that's all there is to it. So, guys, make sure you follow Loretto on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. He is AJ, the man, the myth, the legend, at AJ_Geek Vibes. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.